MTG me, this is Charles, and today we're going to be playing some Omniscience Draft on Magic Arena. So this is the new limited time event on Magic Arena, and in this format you get to draft 3 packs of Dominaria. You keep the cards you draft, but there's a twist. You don't actually have to pay mana cost for any spells you cast. I think we did this event a couple months ago, but essentially it really rewards drafting the biggest, strongest, most powerful cards in the packs. You don't even have to worry about playing lands. You just play the 40 card deck of your best possible cards, the highest mana cost, so they schwack the battlefield. Additionally, instead of starting with 7 cards in hand, you start with only 3 cards in hand. And you're given mana, 1 mana of each color each turn to use for activated abilities. With all that being said, let's go. So I'm going to use some gold to start this event. So the trade-off, interestingly, is we get to keep the cards. It's almost worthwhile to me to take the Woodland Cemetery, even though it's not playable in the deck. And then, of course, we have a big old fatty Sarah Angel, which is pretty solid. I'm really tempted by that Woodland Cemetery. It's not the pick to win the draft, though, that's for sure. Let's pretend I didn't take this sideboard. Alright, so then second pack 2, we got a 4/4 Baloth Gorger. I suppose with 5 mana kicking, that means it's going to come in as a 7/7, which is pretty good. We got a 4/4 Guardians of Koilos that bounce a card back. And we've got a Chainer's Torment. Let's see. So Chainer's Torment is going to deal 2 damage to each opponent, and I gain 2 life on turn 1 and 2. That's created an XX where X is half my life total, and it deals X damage. That's pretty high risk. Better Explorer is not too bad. I guess we're going to take the Baloth Gorger. Okay, well this is an easy choice of the cards here. Raph's pretty good, but we're going to take a 7/7 Thorn Elemental. Okay, let's see what we got. We got Shauna, we got another Baloth Gorger. We don't really need that because the land, so bigger is badder. Its enchantments aren't too bad either. I mean, giving a creature menace is valuable. We'll take the Baloth Gorger though, another big creature. And it's going down to small stuff already. Well, you know, Deep Freeze might be alright. Little defender there. Little slow down our opponent's creatures. An Ancient Animus is a fight card. With our Baloth Gorgers and Thorn Elementals, it probably serves as pretty good removal. It might be better than Deep Freeze. Oh, draw 3 cards. Actually, that's good. Card draw is really good in Omniscience. Excuse me. Flying enters battlefield. The top 3 cards of the library in your graveyard gain 3 life. No, let's go for a Primordial Worm. It's nice and big. Okay, so we got a Gaia's Protector. We got another Windgrace Acolyte here. A Champion of the Flame. That's kind of meh. So it's between Gaia's Protector and Windgrace, I think. I think we take the Windgrace Acolyte. I don't want... Oh, there's another one. I don't really necessarily want too many of them. But the life gain's relevant too. Let's take another one. Alright, so what do we got here? We got an Excavation Elephant. Return an artifact from graveyard to hand. Destroy a land. 2 creatures can't block. This is more relevant than it probably looks, because again, these things don't have trample, so you could essentially stop 2 creatures from blocking and swing in for lethal with these guys. Primordial Worm. Otherwise, you have a Homeward Explorer, which mills the opponent. I don't think that Seismic Shift, but I'm not sure we're going to play it. Alright, Feral Abomination counts as removal 2, Death Touch, or a Primordial Worm. Well, we'll take the Abomination because it's going to trade with anything. Let's see. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a creature card. That player discards the card. Divest actually seems pretty strong here, provided they're starting with 3. We'll take a copy of Divest. Now we're stuck with Drudge Sentinel and Skirk Prospector. We'll Sentinel. I don't think we're going to play that. And we're not going to play a Warlord's Fury. Alright, so pack 2. Well, I'll tell you right now, like Zahid's a really solid start, a 5/6 flyer. The mana cost is irrelevant. Probably Soul Salvage is pretty strong too. Eldest Reborn, that looks good too. Eldest Reborn, yeah, we're gonna take that. That's good. Tempest Djinn is normally good. It's not going to be good in this, again, because you need to have basic lands for it to be good. So really, it's just a 3 mana 0/4 flyer. That's not great. How do we kick this? Well, we cast it for free and then we kick it, the discard. Let's take a Caligo Skin Witch. We can strip our opponent's hands. That might be valuable. We got another Windgrace, another Primordial Worm. We got this Whisper Blood Liturgist up here. Return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. We have to kill 2 things to do it. I don't know. It's either between the Primordial Worm or Whisper. Whisper gives us a lot of strength. So that is like a strength and flexibility in bringing things back. But I think we take the Primordial Worm. Alright, so now we got a Joda Archmage or a copy of Feral Abomination. I suppose Keldon Raider lets us rummage for something, which isn't the worst. Caligo Skin Witch again, to get our opponent discarding cards. That might actually be useful. Joda's just a 4/3 flyer for 4, which honestly isn't that bad either. 4/3 flyer for 4 is probably good. Alright, we'll take Joda for now. And Slyn Voda, easy pick there. We have to take some control elements here to kind of round this out. Let's see. Cabal Paladin. I don't think we have a lot of historics. We've got Joda, Eldest Reborn, Zahid. Yeah, oh, and Slyn Voda. I don't know if it's that great. What else we got? We have Befuddle. Slows makes a creature smaller, draws a card. Flying is relevant. What does this do? Gitu Chronicler gets us an instant back from graveyard. If we kick it, we can kick that. Let's take that for some recursion on our card draw. Let's see what we got next here. Adventurous Impulse is irrelevant. Sergeant at Arms, we could kick that and get some blockers. Maybe we take... I don't know if a counterspell is actually good. Maybe 1 copy of Counterspell might be alright. A Wizard's Retort. Sergeant at Arms, though. We're going to go wide with that, so let's take that. Alright, so now we got Fire Intervention as removal or Soul Salvage. I think Soul Salvage is really good in a format where you get to cast your spells for free. So then we got an Amaranthine Wall and Curator's Ward. I like Curator's Ward because we can enchant one of our own historics and then we draw cards off that as well. So Soul Salvage again, virtual card advantage. I'll take that Curator's Ward. Feral Abomination, and we'll befuddle the sideboard. We're going to play that. Alright, so pack 3 already. Exile target creature, settle the score. That's pretty fine. Memorial to Genius. Well, we'll actually have the mana to activate it, so that's not actually the worst. I might consider this. Otherwise, it might be a removal. Sapperling Migration, we can kick for 4 tokens. That's not the worst. Target reveals a hand. Oh, Divest again. Divest might be it. I'm going to take Memorial. I think the card draw is valuable, and if I have 5 mana to activate an ability, we can basically... It's a free 5 mana spell that draws 2 cards. Sure. Okay, then we've got another Amaranthine Wall is our big beater. Oh, we got a Bardic Wanderer down here. Also, another copy of Soul Salvage, so virtual card advantage, provided you don't have too many of these. Actually, you know what I think about it? It's a really good combo with our flyers here, our Windgrace Acolytes, because if we mill our own graveyard, we can salvage our creatures back to hand. I should have thought of that earlier. That's a great combo. Okay, so what do we got? We got Dark Bargain. We draw 2 and put 1 in the graveyard. Or we have an Arvad the Cursed. Legendary creatures get +2/+2. I think it's kind of between these two. I think Caligo Skin Witch is not necessarily bad if you're just going to strip your opponent's hand. Target player. I almost think we should have built around these Soul Salvages with these Homerid Explorers earlier. 3 copies of Soul Salvage, top 4 in the graveyard. Return 2. Yeah, almost think it's the mill is almost better. Let's see, Dark Bargain, look at the top 3 cards of the library, put 2, it deals 2 damage. Hammered Explorer is strictly better, I think, than the other guy. There's another copy of Slin Voda. I got this Cabal Stronghold we don't need, you know, because of the format, so we'll take Slin Voda. That's 2 Slin Vodas. We got a Chainer's Torment, we got a Squee. You can keep casting Squee, which means we can discard Squee and then cast him anyway, which is not terrible. So it's either that or Baloth Gorger. I'll take Squee. Okay, so we got a Guardians of Koilos. I think if we're going all in on the Soul Salvage, we'll take another Windgrace Acolyte. And out of here, Instants and Sorceries. Yeah, we'll take another G2 Chronicler. Let's just recur things like our Soul Salvage. Okay, so in this pack, another Thorn Elemental, sweet. We also got this Valduk, but we don't have any artifacts or auras really. So let's go ahead and take that Thorn Elemental. Alright, Goblin War Chief costs 1 less to cast. Rampaging Cyclops, Guardians of Koilos. You may return another historic you control to its owner's hand. I don't know what the advantage in there would be other than to bounce like Eldest Reborn. I think I take the Divest. Alright, so we got a Thorn Elemental or Gaia's Protector here. Yeah. So we take the Fire Elemental. Then we got a Gaia's Blessing, a Dark Bargain. Let's target player shuffles 3 target cards from graveyard into the library. No, we'll take the Dark Bargain. And we'll take the Chronicler. And then we have what? Demonic Vigor? Yep, I guess we can play Demonic Vigor. Lava Runner is going to go to sideboard. Now we got to switch. Oh, got those cards we converted. So now what we want to do is take what we have in that sideboard, which is this. Terribleness. Okay, so I suppose I wonder if we can just play the lands just to play the lands. I suppose we don't need to play the lands. It's probably better to play the creatures, as terrible as they are. So 38, 39, 40. That's our 40 card deck. It's hard to make sense of whether or not these are good or not, but in the format. But let's give it a try. Alright, so that's our Omniscience draft. We're going to go into game 1. Alright, let's go. This one seems like it's going to be fun, and going forward I'd like to try and build more around that particular format the way we just talked about. Like, Soul Salvages and Self-Mill seem like a really great way to gain card advantage in this, because if you're able to mill multiple creatures off and then immediately put them in hand, you can dump them on the battlefield. I guess this is fine. Feral Abomination, Skin Witch, Demonic Vigor. It's going to die anyway, so let's go there. Keep. So, you may cast spells without paying their mana costs. Alright. So what we want to do is I want to cast a Feral Abomination. I want to Skin Witch, Kicker. Oh yeah, Skin Witch is going to be really good in this format. I should have drafted all of them. I missed out on that one. What a great way to start. And then Demonic Vigor on the Skin Witch. So she comes back. And our opponent discarded Nature's Spiral and a Homebred Explorer. Ah, Homebred Self-Mill. Pretty sweet. Deep Freeze. Okay, well, nice. Nice for our opponent there. Shut down our Feral Abomination. Got 1 card in hand. Wow, double removal. Interesting. Alright. Well, we're going to target ourselves. Targeting me. I'll self-mill fork. Oh, got rid of one of my Soul Salvages. That's unfortunate, but I could get to Lava Runner and bounce it back. And then hopefully we can get this Thorn Elemental Primordial Worm in. And it looks like our opponent's basically on the same thing as me. So what do we dump? We dumped Eldest Reborn, that's unfortunate, Divest, and Baloth Gorger. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and attack the Homered Explorer. Opponent's at 17, they draw their card for turn. Tolarian Scholar. We can beat a Tolarian Scholar. Alright, so let's just attack in with our 2 creatures. It's nice that he kind of gave us these 2 walls. His creatures so far are quite small, they're not going to be able to fight through them. Let's kill the Tolarian Scholar. In case he has a way to recur that Skin Witch. I don't think I'm going to have cards in hand anyway, but we'll go through Abomination. Opponent draws their card for turn. They're thinking. Maybe they're not thinking. Maybe they walked away for a drink. I don't know at this point. They're not doing anything. That's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at... Oh, nope, they cast something. I was going to show you the cat, but... Lingering Phantasm, sure. So... Oh yeah, that's a good one to have in here too. Sweet. Alright, so we get to Chronicler, which is going to be great, because we kick it. We're going to return Soul Salvage. We're going to cast Soul Salvage. We're going to reanimate a Thorn Elemental and a Baloth Gorger. Now I'm going to cast Thorn Elemental. I'm going to cast Baloth Gorger, kick it, so it comes in as a 7/7. Oh, I can't do that. I already kicked something. Cancel. Alright, so let's just cast it as a 4/4. Alright, so we swing in for 3 in the air. We've got a 5/5 Feral Abomination. They'll probably block with the Skin Witch. Or they'll wait. In the meantime, there's my kitty. Hi, Fred. Hey, Freddy. He's just chilling on the couch while I play Magic. Just like, I don't really care. Opponent's just sitting there, drawing out the game. Fred. Hey, buddy, say hi. Alright. Opponent doesn't block. Or actually, they did. They blocked one of the creatures with Lingering Phantasm. Oh, it's okay. Drudge Sentinel, 2/1 indestructible. I think, if that's not it this game, that's pretty close to it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, he's going to block there. Okay, so not this turn, but possibly next turn we have the win. I mean, nothing certain in Magic, but it seems like we likely win. I really like this Windgrace Acolyte, you know, for the self-mill package and the 3 life gain. It's not irrelevant. And even with our opponent locking down our first two creatures, man, spells with Kicker are awesome if you have the Omniscience emblem and you're just, you know, able to essentially kick for free. So that's it with Dominaria. I think it's all about that spell recursion, probably self-mill to effectively just have a powerful reanimator deck. I wonder if he's just going to draw this out. If he's just letting his timer run through. No. Alright. So let's go ahead and I think it's appropriate to just attack with the team. And that's it. Opponent scoops it up. We won our first game. What a silly format. Alright, so that was game 1. We'll move on to game 2. Kind of reminds me of like Judge's Tower. Yeah, it's just as like an alternate form of the game that you can play. So we've got a Joda, a Seismic Shift. This is interesting because if we mull to 2, it's not great, but Seismic Shift is pretty much irrelevant. I should have thought of this actually. Seismic Shift's not great unless they're forcing a utility land. because I have to target the land to make it unblockable. So, I don't know, I don't really want to mulligan down to 2. Eldest Reborn seems like it might be not great to start. And I'm going first. Okay, well we're going to mull to 2. Alright, well we'll keep this. Eldest Reborn coming up again. Actually, Eldest Reborn on top is fine. So we're going to play Feral Abomination. Opponent's considering a counterspell, I suspect. Oh, Dark Bargain. Okay, yeah, card advantage is a good idea. So they're going to basically draw 2, mill 1. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad in the format at all. Alright, so what did they mill? Rescue, returning permanent. That's an unusual one. Alright, I think we're going to keep the Chronicler in hand in case we have to discard something else off the draw. There's no point in really forcing it out there. Plus we got a Feral Abomination, which is death touching. And we're going to likely draw that Eldest Reborn and kill one of their creatures anyway. Or they'll sacrifice one. Fire Elemental, sure. What else are you going to run out? Opponent, looking at their 4 cards still. The dude abides. Who shall I? Really nice. You know, regardless of the Hexproof, the 3/4 flying is pretty relevant. You got enough mana? No mana to activate the +1 counters. Slin Voda. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Well, I'll tell you, there's a good chance I'm going to be losing this one, but... So I'm going to play Eldest Reborn. Opponent's clicking on something. I wonder if they have a counterspell. If they do, that's pretty short work for me. Nope, it resolves. Alright. So whatever they get, we're going to get back next turn. Hey, with any luck, it'd be Shalai. I don't think they're going to sack Shalai, though. I didn't think so. Because that's almost a guaranteed bounce back and forth. So next turn, we're going to reanimate a Fire Elemental. Oh no, it's not next turn, turn after. But this kind of makes them force out their hand. If they, you know, if they have creatures to play, they're going to have to play them out. Or something they're going to lose. We'll see. Mulligans definitely feel bad with Omniscience. Alright, opponent. I suspect they're going to just attack in the air with Shalai. Yep, looks like it. So no blocks, no effects, and take 3. Second main phase, opponent's sitting on 3 cards in hand. And they pass. Interesting. So now they have to discard. I wonder if they had creatures. We might have an idea here based on what they discard. Opponent's looking at their 3 cards. And they decide to discard a second rescue. Really unusual choices. Alright, so we're going to play a Primordial Worm. See if they have a counter again. Nope, no counters. Beautiful. And we'll pass to the opponent. I suppose I could have attacked with the Feral Abomination, but I like to bring it up to block Slim Voda, so I'll probably have to attack with it next turn anyway to bait in Slin on the defense. So opponent's probably going to attack with Shalai. Oh, attacks with both. Interesting. Well, we may as well block Slin. It's our chance to get rid of it, so... Unless he's got another rescue. Does he have 2 befuddles? He befuddled and drew a card. Oh, he does too. Really interesting. I mean, that deck's constructed in a very different way than I would have constructed the deck. But he defeated my Death Toucher, and he's still got a Slint Photo on the battlefield, 3 cards in hand. I have one creature battlefield. Settled. Ooh. Right on. So now I have no creatures. Facing down 11 damage next turn with only a Get 2 Chronicler. Okay. So we're going to put my graveyard. No, I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to fire Elemental from his graveyard with the Eldest Reborn. Then I'm going to have to return my one creature. Hope he doesn't have another ability to befuddle or bounce it, so we're only taking 11. Interesting. Well, then we're going to kicker, return Soul Salvage. Hopefully he doesn't have a counter for this. Alright, so we return Soul Salvage. And then we'll return the... Provided this resolves, we're going to bring back that Feral Abomination. We'll cast the Feral Abomination so we can block Slin Boda. Alright, and we'll pass the opponent. This Shalai is still posing a problem, so hopefully we'll top deck something like Zahid. That would be great, or some of our removal, like those enchantments. Interesting. So opponent's considering what they can do with their 2 cards and their Shalai in the, you know, first main phase. They're still thinking. Let's shrink this box down. There we go. Alright. So talk with Shalai and Slin. Well, we'll try it again. We're going to block with Feral Abomination. No other tricks, obviously, empty-handed. Opponent's got something they're considering. +3/+3 and trample? Nice. He's definitely playing a deck with more tricks than I have. So right now we're taking 9 damage, 9 of 14. Oh, that's really interesting. Down to 1. So unless we draw an answer to Shalai, which we don't. Yeah, that's it. Opponent wins. We get a good game, and we will go ahead and concede next game. Alright, so I guess there's definitely advantages to playing a bunch of interaction as opposed to just purely recursion, particularly if you have a slow first hand. So flyers or evasive creatures are really important, but definitely those combat tricks paid off for the opponent at the time. The double befuddle was entirely unexpected. I guess it makes sense though because the card always replaces itself. I probably should have valued those higher as well. Alright, moving on to game 3. So we start with a Wingrate Astolite, this garbage Lava Runner, and a Chronicler, which we'll probably keep. Opponent goes first. We'll keep it. It's serviceable enough. Nice. Final Parting's got to be good too. Again, for the same reasons, because if you can graveyard something good and then soul salvage it back immediately, you've effectively drawn both cards. Of course, we have to wait for our opponent to search their own library and find what they need at this point. Alright. Excuse me. Maybe we'll just go back to the cat cam while we're waiting. That was Julia in the background of the cat cam for a second. Hi, cat. Okay, so opponent Chroniclers. Oh, that's a sweet, sweet combo. Oh, goodness. So they just bring Final Parting back, rebounce it. What did he bin? He binned Divination. That's really interesting. So he binned Divination, then Chronicler to bring Final Parting back. I guess it still retutors a card to hand, a card to graveyard, which is still relevant. What did he bin? The other Chronicler. That's interesting. But Divination's good. We know Divination's good. So, alright. Then he casts an Opt. I guess it replaces or cycles a card too. That was quite the play, yeah. Yeah, he's still got 4 cards in hand. He's taking his sweet time. Right into a Slin Voda. Yep, Slin Voda, turn 1 for winning. Alright, so we're going to go Windgrace Acolyte, gain 3 life. Provided we're not countered. Alright, she resolves. So we binned our Garbage Drudge Sentinel, our Curator's Ward, our Demonic Vigor. We're going to Lava Runner. Chronicler can't get any of those back. It's just a Lava Runner. And then we're going to kick our Baloth Gorger. We'll kick you. And provided that's not countered, at least we have sort of a blocker. We can block with Baloth Gorger, G2 Lava Runner for Slin Voda. I mean, Slin Voda doesn't have trample, so we can just chump block with Lava Runner if he attacks. Let's see. Opponent pre-combat phase. Yeah, it goes for the double attack. Alright. Well, I mean, I suspect there might be some double blockers in here. If we go 8, 9, he's got a bunch of cards in hand. I pretty much have to block. Let's do it. Does he have a trick? A trick? He's going to kill the Baloth Gorger. He sees it as a larger threat. Lava Runner. Opponent's considering his options. 4 cards in hand. Still considering. Interesting. He returned Chronicler. Actually, that's... I get why people are playing Rescue now. You play G2 Chronicler, and then you can rescue him, and then replay one of your things like Divination. And yeah, then he just Slin Voda'd out my guy. Okay. Right on. Opponent. Waiting. Waiting. Still waiting. Chronicler's back. I'm going to assume it's a Divination, because that's going to keep his hand full. He's definitely got the advantage on me. It's taking him a long time to decide what he wants to bring back. I mean, Final Parting is surgical. I'd almost go for the Final Parting. Yeah, he went for Final Parting. Is he going to cast Final Parting? Alright. I'll say he's taking his sweet time, or she. Just need to add some fetch lands to this format. Slow it down a little more. I really enjoyed that first game, not only because I won, but it was a very quick game. Like, I think the opponent's looking at every card in their library to decide which one they possibly want to put in their hand and which one wants to go to the graveyard. So they push the Slin Voda to the graveyard. I'm suspecting it's legendary. So we're going to Primordial Worm. I've got nothing to recur from graveyard, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn. With any luck, they don't have a combat trick this time, and we can just trade off on Slin Voda. Now, I lose both creatures when that happens, but... Interesting. You're going to kick Final Parting again, and then we're going to sit here while you search your library forever? Probably. Yep. Final Parting. Casts Final Parting. Tutoring something at slow pace. I gotta remember if I see this Final Parting to go ahead and throw it in the deck, because it's definitely gonna get you the biggest, baddest threats when you need them. Alright, let's put it back on the cat cam while this guy tutors up whatever he's tutoring. Hi, Fred. There you go. You're on magic. You're on magic. Yeah, you are. I know, I'd fall asleep too. In fact, the opponent, I think, is falling asleep. He's gone to timer again. Alright, so he plays Soul Salvage, returns 2 cards, 2 creatures to hand. Copy Slin Voda and Chronicler. I'm not sure he needed to do that. I suppose with Chronicler, he could just cast the Chronicler again. Just like I could double block this Slin Voda and then he'll just cast the second Slin Voda. Or I could take the 8. I'm just going to take the 8. It renders this card essentially a dead card temporarily until I can find a way to deal with it. Alright, back to me. It doesn't matter, you can leave it on or off. Well, opponent has the initiative on this game again, so it looks like we'll be finishing this one soon. I mean, as soon as he decides to play a card. Good night, Julia. Goodness. Alright. So we've got a Soul Salvage with basically garbage in hand. On the plus side, that Drudge Sentinel is going to just block for days. So let's go ahead and we'll attack with a Windgrace Acolyte. $17. We'll Soul Salvage the Drudge Sentinel and a Lava Runner, which will give us lethal for Slin Voda 1. Then we can kick our good to Chronicle, get our Soul Salvage back. Alright, opponent Soul Salvage back. We'll play a Lava Runner. Play a Drudge Sentinel. Now we're going to end that turn. Now the great thing about Drudge Sentinel, maybe I undervalued this earlier, because you can declare a blocker with it and then give it indestructible if you haven't used your mana off your emblem for that turn. So I could basically Stonewall Slin Voda or Feral Abomination. This opponent's carefully considering this casual form of magic and what they're going to play against us. Still thinking. Going to time again. Interesting. Right on. Demonic Vigor it is. Slin Voda gets +1/+1 and it returns the hand if it dies. Opponent's gonna go ahead and declare attackers. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and block Slin Voda, block Feral Abomination Primordial Worm, block the Chronicler, block the Chronicler, block those, activate Drudge Sentinel, so we don't take damage from Slin, unless they have something weird like give it trample. As soon as the opponent accepts my blocks, or gives it trample. Yep. Is that going to be lethal now? 15. Good game. So I take back what I said earlier. Apparently combat tricks are good and you do need some of them in your deck. Alright, well we're 1 and 2 now. Let's play a game. Hopefully we'll get a win this time. Game 1 felt pretty good. Maybe I threw away some percentage of win percentage by grabbing that dual land. Maybe. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Divest. We put 3 in graveyard. I guess we keep it. It's not the worst. We'll Drudge Sentinel. We're going to divest our opponent. Oh, Kazaroff. He's just going to bounce it back. Because he has a Soul Salvage in hand. Well, we'll put it in the graveyard anyway. We'll Dark Bargain. Put 2 cards in your hand. The other will go into your graveyard. Well, let's put Slinvoda in my hand and Homered Explorer in my hand. We'll play Homered Explorer. Self-mill. So we milled a piece of removal, unfortunately, but Zahid and Thorn Elemental, so hopefully then we'll play... We've got a Soul Salvage and a Fiery Intervention. Alright. We'll play Slinvoda. I should have actually kicked my own Homered Explorer. Yep. I could have just recast it and remilled 3, rolled the dice on setting up a Soul Salvage. That's alright. I'm in basically in draw 1 Soul Salvage mode, so. Opponent Soul Salvages. That's a good sign. I don't have a strong creature in there. He Kazarovs, yep. He's gonna get a counter put on Kazarov too, because he's gonna Fiery Intervention one of us. We could also activate Kazarov, and then he would get 2 counters on it. That's quite a clock. I'll go ahead and tap him. I mean, he still deals the damage. Kazarov still gets the counter. Just... I don't understand why that didn't work. Maybe I didn't tap it? Okay. Let's play Mikeld. Oh, that's interesting. We'll attack with Slinvoda. Let's kick our own Slinvoda. Keep this one. We'll bounce back Kazarov. He should have activated his source in response. Alright, then we're going to Hobrid, target ourselves. And we'll cast Squee. Or we won't cast Squee. Okay, that's interesting. Squee does not work the way I thought it would at this point. Windgrace, Weight of Memory. Kazarov back out. Yeah, Flame of Keld's gotta be good. Draw an extra 2 cards, sure. may cast spells from your hand. Okay, that makes sense. Our opponent Phyrexian is taking their time again. They're going to do something. They just looked at my Homrid. Right on. So he just flushed up some mana, 1 mana of each color. It's going to deal 2 damage to Homrid Explorer. It's going to put a counter on Kazarov, the Pure Blood. Right on. Okay, so we got a Demonic Vigor, which is the Homrid Explorer. So let's go ahead and attack with Slinvoda. Interesting. We're just going to block with Kazarov. Sure, he'll block with Kazarov. Kazarov's going to live. Going to deal 2 to what? Slint? What was that actually going to accomplish? Gift of growth. Alright, well, he's gonna trade with my Slinvoda, sure. Not trade, he's going to kill my Slinvoda. So I'll Demonic Vigor my Homrid Explorer. Squee, you're useless. Alright, so this turn when he pings for 2, he actually pings for 4. That's no haste, there's not to worry about this. Interesting. I guess it's relevant for the third one. The Vigilance, Trample, Indestructible. That's a pretty big deal. Opponent. Yeah, now he's got 2 big fat flyers. Yeah, you may as well kill it. I guess it doesn't kill it. Well, I guess I lose this one too. Alright, concede. I guess that was my run. 1 and 3. Kind of the pits. Interesting format anyway. Probably going to give it a chance and run it back. We get 1 pack and 100 gems back. Good news is we used our gold for that. Let's open up our pack. Got ourselves a copy of the Weatherlight. Alright. Well, thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching. If I could figure out how to turn this off.